Okay, let's take a look at these charts. It's a really quiet week for data, so we'll go through the individual cases in a minute, but it's very, very quiet. Bear in mind, we are pretty much coming into the main holiday season. Starting off with the Nikkei, this Nikkei's had a really good bounce, and we're through the 50% with a very confident bar on Friday, so I have to be bullish. I have to be true to the charts and I have to be bullish. In the meantime, here's the Dow. The Dow is slightly trickier because that has only come up to the top of the fib zone, it's 38.2%, with the hangman looking like bar there. So a little suspicious of that, particularly as the dollar is gaining so much strength. And normally with a dollar that's gaining, that puts pressure on cost of US exports and could put pressure on the Dow. Okay, so I'm a little suspicious this hangman could see, if we break 15,100, we could see the monthly pivot retested. Okay, so as usual, I'm looking at the markets late in the day on Friday, but just with a lot of caution. Equally, if we break that high, 15,180, then we are going back to the Fed 15,300 that I kept talking about back in the last week. Talking of the dollar, let's just look at the US Swissy is very strong. So when you pull back to 96 is a buy. Let's have a look at where I got the fibs on that. Yeah, it looks to me as if that's going to head back for 98.3, if not more. So that's two very bullish days back in the last week. So I'm looking for further strength in that on a pullback. US dollar CAD, same story. New high. So any pullback to 105 is a buy. In the meantime, the pound US dollar is looking as if it wants to test 148. If we've broken a key level of support here at 150, so two really heavy days of selling on the back of the Bank of England's governor comments on Thursday. Any pullback to 149.80 or 150 is a short, looking for 147.86. Euro is a very similar story, but that's got more localized support. And the important thing to me, the massive amount of support. But if that gives, then I would expect that to retest the 127 extension as well. Let's look at the yen pairs. Pound yen is still above the 150 just. That's got an 8 and 20 EMA crossing above it. So to have any hope of a recovery, we're expecting good manufacturing data this week, so don't write this off. But I would want to see a close above that 50 EMA at 151.35 before I think about buying to see if I can hold for 154.65. Let's look at the euro yen as well. Very similar pattern. That's actually stronger. That's actually slightly stronger. That close was we're above the 50 EMA here. It's a hammer-like bar. We are above all moving averages. This is much stronger. A break of 129.90, and I'd expect a retest of 132. So all eyes on that euro yen. CAD Swissy, which I talked about a lot last week. Some weak CAD data expected now. I took it off at this level up here, 91. But that's a swift move here. The potential fade of the 50 EMA there. But I would actually I would stand aside. And if we see any dips to 90 again, I would want to get in because I think these hammers down here and this support might want to get tested. Aussie US is just in a terrible state. That's just sideways to weak. And 127 extensions down there, 89.85. Let's look at Aussie CAD. Yeah, looking very weak. Wouldn't touch that. That's sideways. Pound Aussie dollar. Now it's a hammer-like bar holding this monthly fib. I personally, it's been very, very strong. I would sit tight and just see how that pans out. Give it another day. Let's see what happens. Right, oil is on a runaway course. This is the fibs for the 110 move up there on March of last year. The pullback level, we are higher RSI. The pullback level is going to be 102. See 102 again, that is a buy. Just keep buying the lows until it stops working basically. We didn't look at the footsies. Let me just backtrack slightly here. That is a move into a key level of resistance. So if we start breaking under Friday's low, 63.74, I expect that to roll over. However, it is a higher close. There's a massive move on Thursday. It's a higher close of Friday. The Dow and the Nikkei held up. So if that can close above 64, 60, 70 area on Monday, I would start to look for 6600 retested. A few bellwether stocks. Scottish and Southern looks vulnerable. It looks very vulnerable. Let me draw the fibs on that one. We come in contact with 38.2. That's the top of the fib zone. We can't hold this, so I expect that to come back down again. So a big drop, gap down, big drop. Picks up from 14.59, runs into the 38.2%. So any failure here of 15.64, I would expect to see lower levels. Rolls is almost back to 1200, but again vulnerable. And Barclays is looking at a reversal bar under the 50 EMA, breaks the low, that's in trouble. Lloyd's I had as a short last week, and that as it's struggling. Divergent RSI up there. So I think these, I think this market. The trouble is, we're into. You just got to remember, we are into the summer season. We're well and truly hitting the holiday season, so just be very, very careful. Bellwether's Bank of America. Not a very clean chart, but it is closing higher. Apple. Slang is I didn't even slam to 50 EMA. We are broken this trend line once, pulled right back to support, broken it twice. If we hold 411, 411, then I would expect that to start to climb back up again. So I'll be very interested to see where that closes on Monday, because that it closes above 420.25, and I will buy. Google closed higher. So I have to say that on the basis of the Nikkei recovering, that the indices are holding up, but I'm just concerned that we've got a strong dollar which could create problems further into the week. It's a very light week as far as data is concerned. There's lower volumes because of the holiday season, so I'm definitely waiting for Monday. My sentiment has to be bullish, but waiting for these pullbacks on those areas, particularly the oil. The oil is such a runaway bull market there at the moment that I do need a pullback in that. And I would look very carefully at the euro yen. I think the euro yen needs to be my focus in the early part of the week, because because I think we could go and test that 131.90. Alright, I do hope that helps, and see you at Traders Round Table.